They warned us the crossing would be rough. They didn't say much about what happened when the ramp went down. I was a rifleman in the 29th Infantry, packed into a landing craft in the early hours of June 6, 1944. We were jammed shoulder to shoulder in that steel box. Gear digging into ribs, boots slipping on a floor slick with seawater and vomit. Diesel fumes and fear hung in the air. The channel was mean that morning. Gray sky, gray water, chops slamming into the bow. Every so often, a shell whistled overhead and hit somewhere we couldn't see. The closer we got, the more you could hear it machine guns on shore. Not random bursts, but steady, like someone running a sewing machine made of steel. The coxswain yelled back at us, words snatched by wind. 2 minutes. Get ready. Keep moving. Nobody said much. A quick prayer here. A bad joke there. My buddy Carter clutched his rifle like it might float for him. You're choking that thing, I muttered. Just making sure it doesn't bail, he said. 30 seconds, the coxswain shouted. I checked my gear one more time. Ammo, helmet strap, grenades, life belt. Hands shaking, trying not to show it. We'd seen the chalkboard plan. The Navy softens them up. The bombers hit. We land behind a mess and push through. From the sound of those guns, the chalkboard was already lying. 10 seconds. The boat slowed, grinding into shallows. The front rank hunched. The ramp dropped. The world exploded. The first men on the ramp were cut down instantly. Some dropped straight. Some took one step and folded. Water at the bow kicked up, then flattened, then turned red in places. Out, out, move. Someone screamed. Instead of going straight down the ramp into that fire, I did what they told us in training. I went over the side. I dropped into the water and it swallowed me whole. It was shock cold, way too deep, and all that gear tried to drag me straight to the bottom. For 1/2 second, I thought, this is it. I kicked hard, shrugged at my straps, forced my rifle up. Broke the surface, coughing seawater, sucking in air and noise. Rounds snapped overhead and slapped the water flat around me. Get to the shingle, someone yelled. Keep moving. Don't stop in the surf. The beach looked miles away, even though it wasn't. I pushed forward, boots feeling for the bottom. Chest deep, then waist, then thighs. All the while, bullets were reaching out, throwing up sprays around me. Men on either side went under and didn't come back up. By the time I hit shallow water, my legs felt like they were filled with wet concrete. I stumbled out onto the sand and ran for the low line of stones and debris, the shingle, because everyone else who wasn't dead was crawling for it. I dove behind it and slammed in so hard it knocked the wind out of me. A second later, Carter slid in beside me, gasping. You alive? He panted. I think so, I said. You? If I can still swear, yeah. Men kept flopping in behind the shingle. Some didn't quite make it. Someone was screaming for a medic. Someone else was yelling at us to fire at the bunkers. Above us, the bluff was cut with concrete nests and firing slits. Muzzle flashes winked from them, spitting rounds down onto the beach and water. The sand between the tide line and the shingle was a churned mess of bodies, gear, and craters. We can't stay here, our platoon sergeant Hanley yelled as he crawled along the line. You stay here. They walk rounds up and finish us. Where exactly you want us to go? A guy shouted back. They got the whole cliff. Hanley jabbed a finger toward a tangle of wire a bit ahead. Engineers blow us a gap. We move in squads, he said. You move when the guy in front of you moves. You don't stop. You don't play hero. You reach that bluff or you die on this sand. That's the deal. Combat engineers crawled up with Bangalore torpedoes, shoving the tubes under the wire while we fired at the bunker slits to keep the gunners' heads down. Fire in the hole! The blast tore a gap, shredded wire, kicked sand into our faces. The machine gun above hesitated for a heartbeat. Go, move! Hanley roared, already over the shingle. I pushed up and ran. People talk about running for your life. This was running through everyone else's death. Bullets cracked past, hit the sand around me, tore into people on either side. Someone went down just ahead. I hurtled straight over him because there was nowhere else to go. I hit the gap in the wire, nearly tripped on a twisted stake, then threw myself forward again, lungs burning. When I reached the base of the bluff and slammed into the mud, it felt like hitting the safest wall on earth. Up close, the slope hit us from the worst of the fire. The machine gun couldn't depress enough to get us. For the first time since the ramp dropped, I wasn't in direct line of fire. "We climb from here," Hanley said, face smeared with mud. "Small groups. Find a draw, get up on their level, hit the guns from the side. We stay here, we're dead." So we climbed. Hands in mud and roots, boots slipping on wet earth, packs trying to pull us backward. Every couple of feet someone slid and someone else grabbed them. We followed a narrow draw where the slope eased just enough. At the top, we found a shallow fold and a trench that led toward a concrete bunker, one of the guns that had been chewing us up. From the front, it was suicide. From the side, we had a chance. We crept along the trench. A German soldier popped into view for a second, eyes wide, just as surprised as we were. Carter shot him before either of us could think. Grenades into the bunker, then we rushed. Inside was smoke, dust, and bodies. The heavy machine gun still pointed down at the beach, slit blackened. We turned it, dragging the mount, and fired along the bluff at another nest further down. Its fire faltered and stopped. Below, more of our guys were making it off the sand, reaching the base of the bluff, finding their own ways up. By afternoon, the beach looked different still hell, still wreckage and bodies. But the tide of people was moving inland instead of dying at the water's edge. We'd opened a hole and others were pushing through it. People later called D-Day the longest day, talk about strategy and maps and the whole front. For me, it lives in maybe 5 minutes, the ramp dropping, the shock of the water, the sprint to the shingle, and that mad run across the sand into the bluff. Minutes where everything in you wants to stay down, but you go anyway because behind you is the channel, and ahead, however bad, is the only way out. The rest of the day, the rest of the war, they only existed because enough of us moved in those 5 minutes instead of freezing in the surf and letting the hill erase us.